last 2 trips we've taken, we've ended up renting e-bikes, first in Wrangell St. Elias National Park, and second in Zion National Park. And both times, we've had a ton of fun. So I figured it's time we got some of our own. So when Heybike offered us a couple of folding e-bikes, I said, yes, please. So we're getting ready to take these out and test them out. But first, let me show you the assembly. The bike will show up at your door in an enormous cardboard box with plenty of padding to keep it safe inside. Once you've wrestled it out, there is some assembly required. The bike comes with an assembly manual, but you can skip that and head straight to Heybike's website, where there is a clear and detailed instructional video. I'm not going to bother showing you all of the steps since they've already done it and have done it better than I can. The only challenge in the whole process was putting the front wheel on. It was a struggle lifting and aligning, and it's probably best done with 2 people. Once it was together, it was time to go get my son a helmet. He didn't like our first choice, but quickly noticed another that he really liked.
Yeah, this one? Yeah? You like the unicorn? Oh, it's awesome.
We didn't get it for him. All right, put your helmet on. One of the reasons I went with these ones in particular is because they are folding, which means they fit in the back of the truck. Well, they are still a little bit awkward to get in and out. Oh, now the smile's out. Go on, give it the beans.
God, it's scary.
This is the Heybike Tyson, or as my wife calls it, the Bike Tyson. We've been browsing e-bikes for a while since we went out and did those rentals. We want something we can take with us on trips and something we can take to expos like Overland Expo to get around. This one stood out to us for 2 reasons. The first is that it is folding, which means that we can get it into the back of our truck with relative ease. And the second is that it has front and rear suspension, which is important to us because on the e-bike we rented in Alaska, we got shaken half to death. So we wanted something that we can take off the paved roads and still have some relative comfort. Let's start by showing the unfolding and folding process. It's so simple that even my simplest friend can figure it out. The bike can be folded back up again in a couple of steps. Just pull the latch there. I like to hold the back brake, push the frame out with my knee. Continue folding, and then the front handlebars have a lever that you pull down, and then they fold over, and you get a relatively compact bike setup in just a few seconds. Unfolding again is just as quick and easy. Pull the handlebars up, lock them into place, pull the back brake again, lift the front around, push it into place with your knee, and lock, and then you're ready to ride. I will say that even with the bike folded up, it is a little awkward getting it in and out of the truck bed, especially with lifting it up so high. There's 2 reasons for that. One is that it kind of wants to unfold itself when you pick it up, and I solved that by putting a roller cam strap around it so that holds it closed. And the other is the weight. This thing weighs 77 pounds. That is a lot when you compare it to my other bicycle, which is not an e-bike. But when you compare this to other e-bikes that are available, it's about average. There's some that are a little less, some that are a little more. This basically sits right in the middle. Still, it's nice to have something that folds up, because without it folding, I need to have a bike carrier that goes on the back of, you know, the car or the truck. And with this thing folded up, it actually does fit inside the trunk of my car as well. There are 3 classes of e-bike. Class 1 is one that is pedal assist only, so it's only going to be powered when you are pedaling and can go up to 20 miles an hour. Class 2 is pedal assist or independent throttle control that goes up to 20 miles per hour. And then class 3 is either pedal assist or throttle control that goes up to 28 miles an hour. This one can be powered either by pedaling or by pushing the little thumb switch up here, which is a throttle, and can go up to 28 miles per hour. So that makes this one a class 3 e-bike. And something to keep in mind is that some places, in particular national parks, do have rules about what classes e-bike are allowed. Some of them say class 1, some of them say class 2, some of them say all 3 are fine. So pay attention to that. One thing I can do is I can go into the app, I can connect to this, and I can limit the speed of it to 20 miles an hour, which makes it class 2. And I could probably get away with using it in a class 1 spot as long as I wasn't using the throttle on there and wasn't going over 20 miles an hour. I don't think anyone's doing any inspections.
I'm going to, how many speeds you say there are?
5.
5, all right, I'm going to try to get a little bit faster and see.
You can also choose different speeds while you're using this, so you can go from 0 up to 5 by pushing the little thumb pad on here, and those all have different speeds associated with them. So 0 means that you're getting no throttle assist at all, you're just pedaling. 1 is like 5-ish miles per hour, and then if you go all the way up to 5, that's where you're going to be going up to like 28 miles an hour, depending on what is set in the app.
Brake's really good too. Because it's quite a heavy bike, so you'd think it might not.
Yeah, 77 pounds.
Because these look like, you know, just nice bicycle brakes, but they actually brake really good. I like the grips too. I like the shape of them.
The absolute maximum range you're looking at on this with just the battery is 55 miles, but a lot of that depends on how you use it. If you're blasting around ever at max speed, constantly accelerating and braking, then you're probably going to get about half that. But what I've actually found is you can get more than 55 miles. Not that I've done 55 miles in one ride, but the way I've been using this is I kind of use the battery to accelerate, to get up to speed, or to go up hills. And then when I'm on the flat sections, I like to just pedal and use it as a normal bike. So I've got up to about 80 miles range based on that. The bike is actually pretty nice to ride manually as well. Obviously it is pretty heavy, so you don't want to be doing that for long distances, and you still want to use the battery for going up the hills. But this one has 7 speeds that really helps. On the e-bikes that we've rented in the past, it's all just been single speed. It's basically just for pulling away, and then you have to use the battery to get anywhere. Whereas with this one, when you go up to the 7th gear, you can just cruise along comfortably without having to use the battery, which I think is just kind of the perfect combination for something that you want to use the bike casually but have a little bit of power assist every now and then. And it does mean if the battery were to die, you're not going to be struggling to get it home either. You can actually ride it like you would a normal bicycle.
I like that the suspension was better than I thought it was going to be. When I went off, I thought it was going to beat me to death. It actually was.
Yeah, the suspension's good.
But something like that would be amazing, like the Expos, things like that.
The suspension on this is great for getting the bumps out of the road. If you're on a gravel road, going across a field, or like a pothole, it actually absorbs it really nicely, giving it a good, comfortable ride. The seat is, well, it's a bicycle seat, so it's about as comfortable as your average bicycle seat. Certainly not as good as like the motorcycle seat style ones, but it is soft enough and supportive enough.
I might want one with a little bit more suspension if I was going to use it for this, but I'd love to have one when I'm base camping out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of explore around when I don't want to just hike.
Yeah, I think for something like that, you probably want a little more suspension and bigger tires as well.
Yeah, bigger tires too. But like for the cross hybrid between riding on streets and a little bit of trail, I think that's perfect.
There are also a couple extra cool features on this bike that you don't see on others. Obviously you got the front and the rear lights, which a lot of e-bikes come with. This one has the auto on and off, which is a little switch right here, which actually wasn't mentioned in the manual. And I was trying to figure out why the lights were constantly coming on when it got dark outside. So I found out I had to turn that off. But they also have signals built into it. So there's a little switch on the controller here, so I can signal whether I'm going left or right, which is pretty nice. Not that a lot of people here use their signals even when they're driving their cars, but you know, it means I can tell people around me which way I'm going. Then you also have the app connectivity that you can use to go into the settings. So I can change that top speed. I can knock it down to 20. So that I guess technically this would be a class 2 e-bike. I don't know how that works out legally, but I'd be limiting to 20 miles an hour. Or if you've got like a kid that's gonna ride it, then you could knock it down a little bit more just to keep them safe. And then you can also use that as a way of locking the bike. So you can use the Bluetooth connectivity to be able to turn it on, turn it off. That way someone can't just turn it on and ride off without you. It also has 4G connectivity that you can use to track it, lock it, that kind of thing. And those two features are just a little bit of extra peace of mind that you can use to keep the bike safe when you're not using it. The final thing to talk about is charging. You can either charge it as it sits, so I can plug in to the side over here when I get home, or I can take the battery out and charge the battery by itself. That's useful if you're out on a trip. You can leave the bike in the truck bed and I can take the battery out, take it into the truck, then plug it into the inverter to charge it inside the vehicle while I'm driving around. Charge time from 0 is about 4 to 5 hours, although obviously most people are unlikely to fully deplete the battery, so most people aren't going to be charging it for that long.
Pretty freaking awesome. All right, I'm jealous.
The Bike Tyson, the Heybike Tyson is on sale right now for Christmas. There are also several other bikes that are on sale right now. So I will put a link in the description so you can go check out those sales, see some of the specs with these bikes. If you've got questions about various technical things, sizes, and so on, those are all on the website. So I'll put a link to that in the description so you can go check it out. Thanks for watching.